Hey everyone! Welcome back to some more Let's Play Mainframe Defenders. It's been a while since we recorded one of these. Well, welcome back! Let's go ahead and hit new game. I've been in the mood to try to record games more regularly again, because I am failing to do this. Today is August 17th, 2024, if my phone is to be believed. And I have been effectively taking off the month of August. Not necessarily because I wanted to. I've been having all sorts of sleep-related issues, which has been cutting into my time. That amongst other real-life things. You guys don't really care about that, and so we're going to skip most of this talk. But I wanted to at least state this, because I would like to try to get back to recording a game a day. At the very least, I need to begin trying to work on a backlog of some sort, so this way you guys have something to watch every day. So to that end, I figured, well, I don't have enough time to start a long series, but I can start a small one, maybe. Why not do Mainframe Defenders? A run of this game takes about 4 to 5 episodes if we do about 3 missions in each video. Perfect. That should... Assuming I record this every 3rd day, as has been the case over the past several months for games I'm playing, then we should finish this by the end of August. But if I'm lucky, and I can find the time, we'll finish it by the end of this week. In any case, welcome back. Let's talk about the game again for a little bit, in case you guys have forgotten what type of game this is. And we'll cover the rules as well when we get into it. I will make sure to also segment this video in case you remember this game and just want to listen to me prattle on as we play it together. If you don't care about how the game is played or how some of the mechanics work, you'll be able to skip ahead to where we don't talk about those things. Also, lots of cuts, because that beginning part, viewer, that took 25 minutes to record that first starting like 2 minutes. Alright, so, to begin with, we need to assemble a squad of 4 mechs. Can't have less than 4, can't have more than 4, gotta be 4. I like theming my units around an idea I have going forward in the game. I think this time we're going to choose angels, 4 angels, to defend our mainframe with. So to that end, let's pick some units. I think we'll go ahead and choose the Arwen B to start. A Paladin sounds rather nice. What do we have here? Oh, of course we have to take one that has a broadsword. That makes a lot of sense to me. We're probably going to need something that heals us. We'll grab the Shiva A. And for our last one, let's pick a Vulcan. Vulcan B. Okay, so those will be our squad of 4 units. Over here, we now get to choose the difficulty that we want. This affects the... It affects, I believe, your unit's hit points. You have less the higher you go in difficulty settings. It affects the enemies as well, their hit points. I don't think it affects too much of anything else. We also will select upgradable enemies, which means normal will be a little more difficult than normal, because enemies will have randomly chosen enemies will have randomly designated upgrades for them. Armor that they wouldn't necessarily have. These are all in addition to what they normally possess. And the very final mission will have every single enemy be upgraded as well. We don't have anything to spend research on. There's been no other research added to the game in the few years since I've owned it, so we can skip this, and we can start the game. Let's go ahead and do so. To this day, viewer, I do not know if this game takes place within a computer system, like if we've been miniaturized or we represent some sort of antiviral fighting force that was installed on the system, or if we're actually in mechs in a warehouse or a facility of some sort, defending against hostile forces attempting to invade. I guess it doesn't matter. In the end, gameplay's still the same. Alright, everybody, let's go ahead and begin talking about the game and how to play it for a little bit, shall we? First thing we can see is this, well, not the first thing, this is the second thing, or fourth thing? No one expects the four things, is this screen. We can see our units over here, what upgrades they have, and if this button is present, this means that that unit can be upgraded because we have enough matter over here to do so. Matter is the currency in this game. You get this by completing missions, and sometimes you can find it in a mission, depending upon the mission type that you decide to do. Matter is spent to upgrade your units. You can see right here some of the upgrades that this particular unit has. Oh, and the cost. Cost is down here. What it does for you is up here. You can also spend matter in order to produce items that you see on this side as well, with the amount it costs listed right here. Okay, now what I like doing is I like coloring and renaming my squads. The handful of other people who have played this game don't do this. I guess they just don't care. But I care. Now let's think. We're choosing some angels here. So what are angel names? Gabriel. And of course, gotta go with white for an angel, or whitish. Okay, next one. Paladin. Let's name you Raphael. An off blue will work. Shiva. Michael. Don't want it to be all the same color, or I will get a little confused as to who's who. So we'll go with this. That's all the angel names I can come up with off the top of my head. But I can think of another one, I suppose. Not top of my head, but one that follows second. Lucifer. Technically an angel. There we go. Perfectly themed color-wise, I think. Next, let's cover a few things here really quick, or not so really quick, before we get going. Hit points. That reaches 0, your unit is destroyed. You can still pull through for the mission, and if you are successful in your objectives, and end back up here afterwards. Your unit will suffer, I believe, a permanent hull penalty until you, a temporary penalty until you can repair it, which costs 25 matter per repair. I'm going a little bit ahead of myself at the moment. Just be aware that this is their hit points. Armor. Armor reduces the damage you take from being hit by enemies. Not necessarily every type of damage, however, is reduced by armor. Corruption is not, or corrosion. Neither is heat damage, for example, or other miscellaneous effects. Any additional critical hit chance that your unit has is listed here. Critical hit damage is based upon the weapon that you are using, with some weapons doing more than others. This ray gun, for example, has a 40% natural crit chance with it, and when it crits, does an extra 10 damage whenever it crits. AP. This is how much action points this unit possesses. Actually, all units have 2 AP. Some things can give you more. Maximum heat. All of us start with 100. Your unit goes over that limit, and your unit begins to take damage. At the end of their turn, the unit will lose 10 heat. I think you lose more if you did not generate any heat that turn. It's been a while, viewers, so forgive me for that. And finally, how much we can move. We move 6 spaces. You can hold up to 4 units per unit. Our Lucifer here has a slasher and thermal ammo. We'll cover their weaponry more in depth a little later after I'm done with this tutorial bit. Items you can fabricate over here are randomly chosen for you in between every single mission. You can lock 2 items by clicking this little lock icon here. This says that I don't want this being cycled out. I want to see this going forward. You can click it again to ensure that in between the next mission, this will vanish and a new item will be chosen. The number of items that are displayed for you is also somewhat random. We are currently in Tier 1. We are on the first mission of Tier 1, or about to select it from the list down below. This shows you the type of mission it is, how difficult it is, which is to say, if it's easy, the enemy units will be reduced in number. Normal has, well, the normal amount of enemy units, and hard might have more units and might have upgraded units, units that are tougher than you would normally fight for this particular tier. If we choose a mission, we will earn the amount of matter listed, assuming we are victorious, and we'll earn any items that are also listed here too. We could go over every single one of these, but I don't feel that's necessary for the tutorial. I can click list of items up here in order to be shown every single item that I have unlocked in the game, which is every single item. There are a lot, we don't need to cover it. We can hit start mission to begin the mission we have selected. We can abandon run if we just want to give up as well. Never give up. Finally, we have squad upgrades down here. These are upgrades that passively affect your entire squad of some sort. There's one, for example, that earns you an extra 20 matter at the end of a mission, if you were successful. There's another, if you're not successful, then it's game over for you. So, there's one that heals all your units 1 hit point each turn. There's another which reduces the heat that you suffer. You lose initial 3 heat at the end of each turn for all your squad units. So, keep an eye open for those. They're also very useful. And with that, oh, a few more things, I guess. Items come in different colors. White is normal. Blue is better, an upgraded version of a white item, potentially, if there was a white item of that sort. For example, thermal ammo. There is a white version of this, which is 10 heat upon dealing damage. This is a better version than that, dealing 20 heat upon dealing damage. Raphael has a broadsword. There is no white broadsword, though, only a blue one. In this case, it details the rarity of the thing, in addition to hinting that it is upgraded if there was a common rarity for it. There's, I think, 2 more colors? Or rather, there's a yellow color, which is the best item of that type. And there's a item with a purple outline around it. I can't remember what exactly that one means. Not very helpful, I know. I do apologize. Okay, so I think that's it for covering this particular screen. Let me put a cut here. And now, viewer, we can go ahead and select the mission. Oh, actually, nope. The first thing we want to do, and we're not, actually, I guess we're not quite done with the tutorial, so I'll have to put another cut here, is upgrades. You can only select 1 upgrade per level, and you must select a lower level upgrade before you are allowed to select a higher level one. So Lucifer here, if I want to upgrade him, I must choose between all weapons generate more heat or giving him 2 armor. Then upon selecting one of these, the other one would be grayed out, we'll say. I can't select it, and level 2 upgrades will become available. It works that way for all of your units. Your units have unique upgrades to them as well. Some units share upgrades in so much that you'll see something you might, let's see here. Do I see anyone? So, here's one right here. So, +2 armor, for example, is on Raphael, and Lucifer also has that same upgrade. They can each take all upgrades are applied to just that particular unit. So, if I take the +2 armor with Raphael, he gets 2 armor, Lucifer does not. He's got to spend 110 if I wanted to give him that same upgrade, for example. There's also one more thing I forgot to mention, which is your move range. Sometimes you'll see a unit that has plus something else. This is because they have 2 movements. You'll be able to take your first movement, and then, after that, your second. You can interrupt your movement to perform an action, but then you lose the rest of your movement upon doing so. We will discuss this, especially because we'll have a chance to show you with Raphael when we go ahead and begin the mission. Okay, now we are done with the tutorial. So, well, I see a pretty amazing item over here. Biosphere armor is a, well, I said pretty amazing. It's good. Actually, should we look at these really quick? Why not, viewer? We'll talk about what's going through my head every single time for all of these upgrades, so this is going to take a bit longer than normal. Hope you guys like hearing my voice. There'll be a lot of talking. Biosphere armor gives us a little bit of armor, and also we lose heat at the end of each turn. So it's got some heat reduction as a part of it. Heat will be a major concern of ours in the immediate future. So the fact that we're losing some heat and gaining some armor makes this very tempting to take. I, in particular, would want this on someone moving around a bit, Raphael, or rather, someone who generates a lot of heat, who will likely be taking hits as well. I'm going to produce at least one of these right now. And we'll give this to Raphael. The ray gun is a decent weapon. Good range at range 8. Has a chance of critical, just being the ray gun, with 40%, with decent damage, plus 10. And the spread is not that great, which is good. In so much that we're not dealing with a wide range of values for that damage. 20 to 22. Respectable. 15 heat is also not too much heat to fire a weapon, but the ray gun requires 3 action points to fire. None of my units have 3 action points. That said, I suppose we'll still lock it, because I believe one, at least of my units, can get an extra action point. Repair compound. As you can see, it gives us more max hull and repairs hull each turn. Good for a tank like Raphael, but it does generate more heat at the end of each turn. A heavy autocannon. Fires 3 times at a target, 11 through 15 each time. Can crit, does 10 extra damage if it does so, at range 7. Respectable. Does 35 heat to self when it's fired. This is a bit expensive to build so early on, but we could take it. It would be, I feel, most useful for us on Lucifer at this exact moment because of the thermal ammo. Thermal ammo does heat damage to the target upon dealing damage. This will hit the target 3 times, which means it would generate 60 heat to that target. An acid cannon. Corrosive damage. Some enemy units we fight in the game will have armor, which will reduce the damage that they take from our weaponry normally. Corrosion is a way to get around it. It also applies improved interference. This reduces the damage that that enemy would do by 50%. Useful if we want to hit a target that we know we can't kill in a single round, and reduce its damage output. We also have a repeater, which is an interesting thing to see so early. If a weapon is a burst weapon, this gives it +1 more shot. Gabriel's magnetic cannon is a burst weapon because it fires twice. The broadsword is not. It swings only once. The slasher is not. Neither is this slasher. Still, a repeater on Gabriel could go a long way early game, and we can move that around to other people. I think we'll produce it. And we'll give it to the only person who has a repeating weapon. With 40 matter left, we can no longer upgrade any of our squad units. Let's now see what's available to us. Oh, actually first, before I do that, do we have someone who has a 3rd action point as an upgrade? Not Gabriel. I know Raphael does not. Yes, Michael does. If I want to take this, +1 action point, passive on him, he will also lose 25 max heat. This also means I will not be taking either of these 2 upgrades. Thankfully, it's not something I really have to consider overly much at this particular point in the game, other than, do I want to keep the ray gun locked? because I might have wanted the acid cannon instead. Let's see now what's available for our missions. That will make the choice for me as to which of these I think I want to lock. So I'm going to just look at these briefly with you, and then choose one and tell you why we're going for it, along with one or two that might prove a little more tempting. Razor, good weapon, incredible damage, 30 through 40, that's really respectable, especially for the early game. The only problem is you're taking damage whenever you fire it. It deals 5 damage to you. It is reduced by armor, which could be useful if we have a highly armored unit, but at this early point in the game, that's likely to get us killed. The Horus is one of the few AoE weapons I'm aware of in the game. It also gets stronger every time you fire it, so don't... every time you fire it, and you hit an enemy with it. It does, right. 4 points of damage, up to a maximum of 16 extra, in which case it's doing, what is that, 22 through 24 damage to everything in the AoE. This would apply any other passives that you might possess. If you have a passive which applies corruption to a target, or corrosion, I forget what it is right now, then, well, this applies it to all targets who would be hit by it. Berserker Cannon does more damage the lower hit points you possess. A Phase Cannon's respectable, only 1 action point to swing this. Our slashers on 2 of our characters also only cost 1 AP to use. The gotcha with this is that it also has a cooldown of 1 turn, which means that you can only swing it once per turn. Means you better find another thing you can spend 1 action point on, or you're kind of wasting an action point, as it were. Crisis Cooling is somewhat respectable. This is when your unit is overheating, close to overheating, or indeed overheating. This greatly reduces the heat that you're going to suffer. This is tempting. Sky Equipment gives us more movement at minus max heat. This is a good crit, chance to crit, and crit damage item. And now we have normal missions. Yes, there are some normal missions given to you right away at the very early parts of the game. Obviously, these are tough to go for right away, but I see something that's really tempting. So let's talk about these really quick. So 94 matter as a download data. This is something our squad is good at doing because we have a unit that can move twice. Raphael could get to where this data is downloaded from and get it and get out, while the rest of our squad offers some limited support for him. We get a free, assuming we win, we get a repair compound and a Achilles module. Applies a dot effect on a target when it's struck. A better version of Crisis Cooling, a blue one. Same heat requirement, but we lose 30 heat instead of 80 heat. Fabricators will be a difficult one to do so early in the game. Destroy the maintenance station. I believe this is going to have a... Oh, well, let's go about this really quick. So we get 76 matter, respectable, for the very, very early game, and a plasma autocannon. This... Oh, it applies plasma residue to yourself, not to an enemy. Okay, so this is a little tricky if we want to take this and use it as a weapon, because we'll be generating a good amount of heat by using this. I was going to go for this weapon, but we don't have a way to remove... Well, we do have a way to remove it. We have a repair kit. I think plasma residue can be removed. Yes, it can. Yep. So, I guess we should talk about our unit's equipment. We'll talk about it when we get into the game. So, we have a way to purge plasma residue. It's just, it's on a cooldown. I think we take this. We go for this. Okay, so let's let's leap into it. We'll discuss the mission a little more when we get into there. Corrupted units gains a bridgehead in this sector. Destroying this base will allow to reallocate some of the uninfected units. Okay, the mission is randomly created as well, although I have a good feeling as to where things generally are once I get going in this mission. You begin to recognize how certain levels are laid out, and if you can peek into certain rooms, which will give you an idea of what might be in it if you've played the game for some time. In a case our units are placed on the board, they will generally be in these locations whenever we play. Let's go ahead and get started. So first off, we get to destroy an infected maintenance object. There's one somewhere in this mission. In 2 turns, one room that possesses enemies will have those enemies activate, and they will begin to seek us out and attack us. In 10 turns, if we have not found and destroyed this infected object, the game will spawn in 4 new enemies, and will right generally where we're located, somewhere in that room, and will generally do this every 4 turns. In the early game, this is death if it happens even once to you, because you're going to be struggling to kill just the units on the board to begin with. This is what makes normal missions in particular very nasty. Let's get started. So Raphael will lead us out. Okay, and we see a room full of enemies below us. So let's talk about what I see to begin with. I see 2 bulwarks over here. You can left click on a unit, make sure your unit is not selected, and you don't want to accidentally fire on it. And then we can left click on a unit to look at his stats. 50 hit points, respectable, not really too terrible. 40 heat, so if we can do heat damage to him, we will likely overheat him. He has 6 armor also. Which means that things like our slashers won't be very effective against him, doing flat damage. He's armed with a scythe weapon. Interesting. There's a little bit of heat damage to himself whenever he swings, and he'll swing twice for 3 through 4 damage. Now you might think that's not a lot, Tim. Correct. Enemies generally going to win by attrition, not by incredible damage, so there are a few units that do that differently. But being hit twice by that can be 8 damage total, which is a 1/5 of a unit's total max hit points. So it's something we need to consider. We also have an Acrid, or Acrid. I've been mispronouncing it for years. Acrid laser, good range on this. Oh, by the way, the range on this is low. Yeah, 4 range. 7 range on this weapon. It also gets stronger every time it manages to hit a target with it, gaining 2 extra damage every single time. There's a small chance to crit, but to my knowledge, it can never crit, so we don't have to worry about that overly much. The Acrid doesn't have any armor and only 30 hit points, so it's downed easily, but it's hard to catch. It loses heat more rapidly than the bulwarks do, and it has a 5-second move range. You'll see what that means soon. Now, moving close to enemies. There is a chance, the closer you are to an enemy, that it will activate that enemy, even though we're not in the same room as it. The moment we cross into this room, everything in this room is going to activate. I want to get close to the room, but not activate the enemy units in it until I at least have 1 turn to break a few walls down to open up my approach. So it's dangerous, but I'll try moving here. We did not wake up anything. Okay, nothing woke up. We could still wake up something. If I decide to move Raphael, even up to this wall might be enough to wake up a few units. We don't want to do that. However, we have a bunch of action points we're not using. And as you can see, you can move a unit and then use another unit and have it perform an action in any order that you want. Slashers. So let's go ahead and now cover some of the weapons that we possess on our characters. Mugger is a slasher. 9 to 12 damage. Can crit, but we have nothing that will let him do so. Only 1 action point cost, so we can swing this twice per round, and it generates no heat. Great weapon for breaking down walls. Gabriel has Vendetta Cannon, which we've covered briefly. 25 heat to self. That's not insignificant. Fires twice, does decent damage, and the improved interference is nice as well. But it's not a weapon I prefer to use to bash down walls because of 25 heat. Lucifer, though, also has a slasher. That's freed up all now of these walls. By the way, a weapon must do damage for you to destroy a wall. If you possess a weapon that does no damage, which there are certain ones of, and by damage I mean flat out physical damage to a target, not like corrosive damage, you will not destroy a structure or a wall. Oh, it's this mission. Okay. There's our target. We need, so in this mission, destroy the maintenance station, there is a maintenance station. This is it, the repair station. This is corrupted. In fact, it doesn't, I mean, this is the only thing in the game as far as I'm aware that is corrupted. It doesn't matter. This is what you have to destroy. This will heal a unit every turn, I believe, for 20 hit points, and remove all native stats effects of it. Let's see. 35 hit points, yep, and it's every turn as well. But it has a range that it is limited to, so it can't heal any of these units. They have to get closer to this particular spot. In this room, there's also going to be a fabricator. Every 3 turns, yep, this will produce a heavy spider in this particular mission. Heavy spiders. Heavy spiders are going to be the most nastiest creature we have to enemy we will have to worry about early game, in my opinion. They do decent damage at 6 through 8 with their spider laser. This has good range. They move a decent amount during their turn, and they take reduced damage from status effects. Dot effects, like corrosion. They take, as you can see, 60% less damage from it. They also have a decent amount of heat capacity at 70, which means that it's not easy to overheat them either. Their weapon has 2 negative effects it applies to a target, our units, when it hits them. Prop damaged means that our units will lose any second move range that they would possess, and they move slower, being reduced by 2 movement. They also apply sensors damage, which means that that unit cannot do more than 20 physical damage with any of its attacks. These both last for 2 turns and can stack, so they are really nasty. Okay, well, let's get started. So I think Lucifer should charge right up and reveal the rest of the room for us. We have that's a heat enemy. Heater. 100 heat. Very difficult to overheat in the early game especially. Heater cannon. Not much damage, but it does apply 30 heat to the target when they're struck with this weapon. Has a little bit of armor. Okay hit points at 35. Well, so now we're going to go ahead and select our unit. I'm going to use hotkeys for this for the most part. So I'm going to select our slasher by hitting the 1 key. And then it shows me what's in range and what I have line of sight to. Here, I can see that if I attack the bulwark, I will do 3 through 6 damage with this attack, because the game's already doing the math for me and showing me that armor's coming into effect. We could do more damage to the Acarid. However, I want to begin applying heat to the bulwarks. I don't have a good way of actually damaging them beyond heat damage. As you can see here, sorry, if I hover over this, see the red that's by its hole? That's how much damage it's taking due to various dot effects or stats effects that are being applied to it. Heat damage counts as one of those. Okay, let's move up Raphael next. And let's look at Raphael's weapons. Broadsword. Good damage. 27 through 32. Can crit? We don't care, because we don't have an ability to crit with any of our units this early in the game. Applies 30 heat to self. That's a lot of heat for swinging this weapon. It does also apply 1 immobilize to the target upon dealing damage. This means that target can't move on its turn. I would like to force the heater to move up here. So I think what we're going to do is swing at this bulwark to pin it. And then I'll move ourselves. Arguably, I should move here. No, we'll stay there. We have this acrid to deal with. We're going to move Gabriel here. And shoot it. Oh, we will kill it when we shoot it. Our repeater gives us a 3rd shot. Okay. Destroy some terrain, because I would like this heater will move in such a way that it can target one of us. It prefers to target enemies that have heat on it already. I'm anticipating it moving up here and shooting at Raphael if it can. Nope. Oh, that was a bulwark. Oh, that was awkward. So it chose Gabriel instead. Okay. This bulwark is running to the repair station since it's damaged and overheated. I think what we're going to do is move down after it. We're going to hit the heater first. I'm going to move Lucifer. We have to chase the bulwark. We have to. Or I feel like we do. Oh, another thing I can do is press Q. Oh, I thought it was Q. Is it not Q? Is it W? No. Oh, I forgot what the hotkey is. There's a hotkey I can press to show me the weapon ranges of my units. I don't want to accidentally swing a weapon or something like that, so I'll wait till after all my units are moved to see if I can figure out what it is. As I move my units around, you can see the enemies begin getting these red pluses. That means that they are within range of a weapon of mine. I don't know why those two are lose the range when I move here. They shouldn't. I'm going to move Lucifer straight down. The more heat you apply to a target over their maximum heat, the more damage they take from overheating. Destroy the heater. Run down. We need to lose some heat. So I don't think... Okay, I am thinking. If I don't fire a weapon or do anything, we're going to lose 20 heat by anything. If I don't use a item that takes action points, I believe we will lose 20 heat at the end of our turn. So I'm just going to move Gabriel here, and that will do. I can ignore this bulwark for one more turn. Oh, why didn't you swing? That was interesting. Alright, well, we have another enemy squad that woke up. It is only 2 Praetorians, which isn't so bad, but we have to cover these units now. Praetorian. 60 hull. I think this has the most of the tier 1 units. No armor, 80 heat. Respectable amount of heat as well. Difficult to overheat so early in the game. Loses 20 heat per turn. That's also frustrating. They have Dominator armor, which means that you're not able to do more than 20 damage to them with any particular type of damage. What that means is that if you put corrosion on them, they cannot take more than 20 damage from your corrosion. I think if they take heat damage, it reduces the heat damage they take. They can only take up to 20 points of heat damage, effectively. You cannot damage them straight out with a weapon if your weapon does more than 20 points of damage. If your weapon was to inflict 80, this reduces it to 20. So you kind of have to focus on a Praetorian with all your weaponry if you want to destroy them, or use high damage burst weaponry. And by all my weaponry, I mean every single unit kind of has to swing their weapons at a Praetorian to kill it early game. We have a way of killing a Praetorian flat out, however, with Gabriel, if it comes down to it. There's an item on Gabriel we haven't looked at yet, which we will look at soon. Okay, this bulwark is dying when its turn begins, thanks to overheat, so I can safely ignore it. Unfortunately, it is in the way. So, I want to do this. What's your range? Okay. We will move Gabriel down here. Raphael will move up one single spot and swing at this bulwark. Oh, which kills it. Perfect. Okay. That is everyone, except for Gabriel, but I can't really do much with him. Three turns have elapsed, we get another heavy spider. Okay, so... Oh, we can just walk into this room from this side, or we can try to destroy the walls here to get a little more direct access to these two structures that we're interested in killing. We do need to worry about the Praetorians, and the spiders will be able to shoot anyone who I leave exposed in this particular area. Lucifer isn't going to really be able to reach too much this turn. I think we attempt to destroy the repair station potentially right now, if I can. It will be tricky. It'll be very tricky. 6 range. I wish I knew what that key was. Oh, there, it is Q. Okay. So Q's showing me the weapon range. If you have 2 weapons equipped, or multiple weapons equipped, there will be different colors. Red is your weapon in your first weapon on your unit. So I'm going to move Lucifer here. And shoot right down there. We'll move Michael here and open up this room. I'll hold on to the last action point at the moment. Oh, we don't have the movement I was hoping for on Gabriel. One more space would give me what I need. Okay, well, we don't have it. So Michael will swing at the repair station. The repair station cannot repair itself. So if I was to swing at any of these other units, it would just repair it, and thus effectively make what I did, my attack, worthless. This is going to be tricky for you, Raphael. Oh, I didn't talk about something else but the Praetorian possesses. The Praetorian cannon. applies corrupted data to you. Corrupted data is a stats effect. Every single stack of it you possess deals 1 point of damage to you. It doesn't last very long, but while it's on you, you cannot be healed by anything that would heal you. My concern at the moment is that if I don't move Raphael here, this spider moves up into this hole, which now forces me to kill the spider rather than focus on the repair station. So I will actually just move Raphael into the room. We'll move Gabriel down here and begin blasting this Praetorian a bit. Now, Gabriel is a weapon, an item I can use. I can use it right now if I so desire. An unstable reactor. It grants us 4 action points, but at the end of Gabriel's turn, Gabriel will take 10 damage for activating it. It's also on a 3-turn cooldown. I don't feel like I need it quite yet. Let's end the turn. Okay, we need to kill this repair station now. This turn, somehow. If I can. And the heavy spider moved into a position where I can't really have Gabriel move up to assist us in destroying this turn. 27. Okay. So I'm thinking Lucifer will move... I'm not quite sure yet. Hold on. I definitely want Michael to be moved, I think, here, so that he can threaten all these targets. Remember that the Praetorian has Dominator armor, so me just moving Raphael up here to swing at it, thinking I'll kill it, won't happen. It'll just pin it. We can destroy the main station if I use Michael to swing at it once, and then Raphael moves up and swings at it a second time. I think we're going to do that. Then Gabriel will use the unstable reactor. And I think destroy this, or hit this Praetorian. And then move into the room. I want that other spire destroyed. Gabriel's very close to being over... Actually, Gabriel is overheated, or will be very close to being overheated. So we have to worry about that as well. The Praetorians can reach Gabriel. If I move here, I think that stops them. No, not that one. Okay, that will have to do. They did not... we timed it such that the Fabricator did not produce another heavy spider. This is the priority, or we're going to have to deal with yet another enemy walking around. Lucifer can keep the Praetorians busy. Can I afford to take the heat damage? I'm a little worried, so I should move these units in such a way that the Praetorian cannot hurt them. Wrap up the Praetorian. The heavy spider, we can hit it with our sword. And then we kill the heavy spider. Tough one to start, but we didn't lose any units. And we gained a plasma autocannon. Well, who to give this to? Lucifer is probably the target we want this to have. When we need a good amount of heat applied immediately, we can use this to apply 60 heat to a target. It also does respectable damage, and we can offset the heat this generates by using the slasher on occasion. Okay. What missions are next? An incinerator. This applies plasma residue to a target, not to yourself. Generates 30 heat, good range, however, and it also applies 30 heat to a target too. Another good weapon for Lucifer if we decided we wanted him to use it, but I wouldn't want this combined with the plasma weapon, so this is not as tempting as you might think. A plasma cannon. Like the plasma autocannon we possess, this applies plasma residue to yourself. Does, as you can see though, good damage. 40 through 50. A broadsword and 94 matter here. I don't know if I want to do another normal mission though. We'll think about it. We got kind of lucky with only 2 Praetorians in that one room. There could very well have been 3 or 4 enemies, and that would have been a much closer final fight. There's a ray gun. In this destroy the maintenance station. That's tempting. A 40% crit chance on download data. An acid autocannon. This does no damage by itself, but as you can see, applies corrosion. And more of a second move range. So this one's tempting. This is tempting for the focal sensor. And I like the ray gun. If we get the ray gun, I can also let this not be locked. We could instead lock something different. Though nothing out here at the moment looks like it's so important to possess. Could take another broadsword, however. We'll lock the laser cannon at the moment. Nothing else there is too tempting, and I think we will go for the ray gun. Before we do that, though, we have 116 matter. If I'm intending to upgrade a unit... okay, wait, let's talk about this. There's no reason to hold on to your matter in large amounts. Spend it. You're better off using that resource to improve your chances of surviving in the next mission than holding on to it in the hopes that perhaps something better might show up in the future. I mean, something could, but I'd rather spend it in almost every single instance. The only thing that's tempting to save it for is yet another biosteel armor if I want one. Gabriel could use one, for example. But, well, I'd rather spend the matter now. So, let's take a look at Gabriel. His weapons could do an extra 2 and min-max damage. Tempting. 125 matter, though, we can't afford it. Repaired for free at the end of each combat. I am not a fan of upgrades or perks or whatever you want to call them that help cushion the blow of losing. I prefer not losing. So I don't care about this. To make it worthwhile, I think I'd have to actually use it 3 times on this unit to make back its matter cost. So this I feel is a trap. Losing 5 heat at the end of each turn is also useful. I don't yet know what weaponry I'm going to leave on Gabriel. I'm thinking we will use... If I take this upgrade, this makes me more tempted to leave burst weaponry on Gabriel. I'm thinking in the end we might go... Plasma autocannon would fire 4 times. I think we do want the extra damage, so we won't upgrade Gabriel at the moment. We bought Raphael Buster armor, so I don't feel like we need an upgrade for him yet. This is tempting. We would all be healing slowly each turn. In fact, this is so tempting we're going to take it. The choices for Michael are a 4-second move range, but he'll generate heat. Not really a concern, because Michael doesn't currently have anything that actually generates heat. So being able to move around a lot would be useful. Or, everyone slowly, slightly heals each turn. Also useful. I'm going to go with the repair. We now get one little chevron there to indicate Michael has been upgraded once. With 16 matter, that's not enough to purchase anything else. Let me put a small break here. And let's go ahead and go after the maintenance station again. We won't be using this for some time, so this is an investment into the future. Alternatively, I guess I can say, you know what? Maybe we'll get another one of those. Who cares about a ray gun at the moment? And we could go for something different. I don't really want to destroy... I don't want to do another normal mission. Unless I must. I feel like we got lucky. Let's go here. We'll fight for the ray gun. Oh. We have the enemies... Okay, so... This sector serves as a repair base for the infected units. Destroying this base would reduce the number of something. Okay, so... Let's see if we wake them up by moving here. As last time, I see 2 bulwarks to start. Tricky spot if I move there, because if they activate, then Gabriel's not engaging, but I'll risk it. Okay, they woke up. Alright, so we have 2 enemy units that are immediately active, these 2 bulwarks. No problem, I suppose. Smack that one around a bit. And I don't want you running away. So Raphael will charge up and hit it to root it in place. He's also the one armed with, well, or wearing armor, or has it equipped on his mech or whatever it is. And so he will take less damage, taking 1 through 2 from these bulwarks. And this guy can't reach anyone else. Where are you? Okay, let's try to get up there. Hitting this once or twice with Lucifer will destroy it with overheat, so we can ignore that bulwark. Note, by the way, that we had opponent squad will awaken soon, and it said 2 turns. We woke up this squad, but this still says 1 turn. If you wake up, if this squad would likely have been the squad to have woken up in 2 turns. And then the next one would have take about another 2 or 3 turns after that to wake up itself. But I generally prefer, if I think I can handle what's in the room quickly, I prefer to do that, since we're on a timer on all these missions. That reinforcement is basically doom for us. Okay. Lucifer, you move here. Good. Destroys that one. Oop, and you messed this up. You should have moved the Gabriel. Actually, no. We can hit this from there. Good. Easy mission. Only 2 units instead of 3 or 4. And 2 more units. We should charge you up, Raphael. The Acarid will likely move, and oh, I guess it didn't have line of sight. The heater is a concern, since it will definitely want to overheat Raphael. Make that somewhat difficult for it to do. So he uses his slasher to destroy some terrain. The plus yellow is indicating where that these 2 units are within range of the repair kit. The enemy units will attack terrain if there's nothing else that they can target. And it would assist them in some capacity. Taking our sweet time getting here. If I don't swing and destroy the Acarid, this will heal it next turn, because it's going to move up to indeed be healed. So we'll move here and kill it. The spiders are fleeing because they want there to be more units present before they swarm us. We won't kill it, and we won't overheat it with the plasma cannon. Let's wait a little bit. That's more like what I'm used to having happen early game. Everyone has to take their time to destroy a single target. Which means everyone's taking their turns destroying a single thing. Now the players are going to rush. I think, oh, they're not. All right, then. Well, I don't mind if you don't. Like, rush me, because I'll just move up. Unstable reactor. Holding on to those last 2 AP. Michael can destroy the repair station. Lucifer can destroy the spider. And then we can run up and... No, we just barely cannot destroy the fabricator. Let's use a repair kit to show you just how that works. So we move up. Well, we don't have to move up, but we're going to move over a unit. Use a repair kit. And heal Gabriel a little bit. Two spiders, 4 of us left. They are not looking like they're going to win. Poor unit. Immobilized and unable to reach anything. Good job, guys. You probably saw, I didn't say, items that you acquire are placed into your squad that your squad uses. I guess technically everything that you purchased or find is put over here into your squad items. There is an infinite, as far as I'm aware, amount of space here. You don't have to worry about things being lost. It's not really that much of a concern. I just thought I'd mention it. I'm babbling. What are we doing? So, I don't like that 5 extra heat at this point in the game, so I'd rather not equip that to anybody. And we can't really use the ray gun either, so both of these are just going to sit here. By the way, we could disassemble these. Over here in the squad items, the mat cost here is not what it costs to produce the item, but how much matter you will get for breaking down the item. So we can earn 34 matter by breaking both of these down if we so desire. I don't think we need to do that. Always crits flux cannon. No. Okay, so let's do one more mission, guys, and then we'll wrap up this video. So let me put another break here. And I'm gonna put a longer break. I'm gonna get something to eat. So I shall be right back, and we'll choose one of these missions. All right, everyone. Hello. I'm back. Dinner's been eaten, dinner and lunch, and it's nearing bedtime for me. I got some time to slip in the last of this video. Let's get going. So let's take a look at all of the rewards and matter available here, and then we'll choose a mission. And I'll talk briefly about what each of these rewards could be used, why I might want to go for them, before I go ahead and choose one. So here we go. So, oh, and I suppose I should mention that I tend to look at the rewards for a mission, and then look over at what the mission is, since I'm willing to do even hard missions if the rewards are worth it. So here we go. So, armor plating, 2 armor, a heat sink for 40 max heat, and a slasher weapon. All common items, but we do have leftover slots on our characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra slots. So we can go ahead and attach all those to our squadron and help them a little bit in some capacity. Heatsink could go to Gabriel? Gabriel, the top one? Yes, could go to Gabriel, who would benefit from it, since the magnetic cannon generates a lot of heat, especially when we use the unstable reactor in tandem with it. Armor plating could just be useful on anybody. All of our units get hit. The AI generally wants to attack units that don't have armor, if they can, with any unit that is not a Praetorian. Praetorians won't care who they really go after. They want to put that corrupted data on a target to stop them from healing. So in any case, this is useful for every one of our units. And a slasher would be useful if we were to give that to Gabriel instead of the heatsink. So that wouldn't happen. Could also give it to Raphael, which allows him to wield a weapon that doesn't actually cause heat when we just need to do a little bit of damage. Also has a better range than the broadsword. And 85 matter, that's respectable, so this is a potential mission for us. 72 matter for a blue brazier. I think that's how you say it. Brazier? Let's read it. It's been a while since I've seen this weapon. The more heat you have, the more damage this does. Interesting. Fires twice. So if we give this to Gabriel, it would fire a third time, and likely would do an incredible amount of damage because he gains a lot of heat as he ventures forward. 61 matter for download data with liquid cooling. A nice respectable minus 20 heat applied at the end of the turn. This would be useful for both Raphael and Gabriel, who are generating a lot of heat at the moment. Repel the Assault. 73 matter, armor plating, focal sensor for extra crit chance, oracle module. This is an interesting weapon. As you can see, it increases the spread that your weapon does. You might do no damage if you're well. So it does minus 10 min, plus 10 max. So for example, our slasher could do 0 through 22 damage. I generally don't know what to take with an oracle. It feels like this needs something else to undo the min damage penalty that it has. We'll probably skip this. We have Destroy the Maintenance Station with a filter module. A fusion gun. Haven't seen this in a while. What does this do? A 2-turn cooldown weapon. 5 through 10 damage. Applies 10 plasma residue when this weapon fires on a target. And imp interference. Okay. That's a lot of plasma residue to a target. And another plasma autocannon. We don't need another one of these, or at least not at this moment. I would rather not attach this to someone quite yet. Not another person. We'll hold off on this. It would be useful again for Gabriel, but that's a lot of plasma residue to have him gain on himself. Flux Separator always crits, so that's 13 damage times 2. There are some passive pieces of gear that give you an effect only if it crits, and or affect the crit damage bonus. So this screams to use one of those things. We have an Achilles module for internal damage being added, and a Stinger weapon. A Stinger is a decent little weapon, only a little bit of heat, but it has a 1-turn cooldown, always crits for plus 2 damage, and it hits twice. We have another Brazier, an overclocking module, so while your heat's high, it adds additional damage, both min and max. Another fusion gun, and a thermal compound, the first squad upgrade we see here. While if an enemy unit has a status effect, it gains 8 heat per turn. The MP302, 3-turn cooldown on this weapon, 50 through 65 damage, which is respectable. And another Incinerator for a Repel the Assault. Well, looking at these missions, this Repel the Assault is interesting. I would be able to use all of this stuff if I so desired. The Stinger and the Achilles module, we could give those weapons to Michael, and then he would be doing some dot damage. And the Stinger could be used in tandem with the Slasher. It's 85 matter for this mission. I do like the minus 20 heat liquid cooling. And I like this first one. It's for the fabricators. Focal sensor is also kind of nice with that extra crit. But I don't know who would get the Oracle module. I can't think of any of my units I'd be willing to risk giving that to. Actually, the Oracle module would play nicely with the Stinger, since you're losing 5 potential damage, but picking up an extra 10. So I guess this is good on very low damage weapons. I think we're going to go for a Repel the Assault here. Oh, but then again, Tim... Who would use this stuff? Slasher would go to Raphael. Heatsink would go to Gabriel. Armored Plating can go to... I guess Lucifer could get this. Or Michael. Let's do this one. Destroy the Fabricators. Let's do it. Oh, interesting. This time around. Where could the Fabricators be? We have... Oh, and this is interesting. So, I skipped what the mainframe was telling us. I apologize for that. Alright, so... the missions sometimes are... there's a... I'll describe this. I'm already messing this up. Some missions are always the same. They always have the same targets, the same objectives, every time that you go in there. Technically, the objectives are always the same. But sometimes there's a little bit of something to differentiate a mission from others of its same ilk. The ones we've been doing, where we need to destroy the infected system, will always have a infected healing station and a fabricator that spawns either heavy spiders in the early tiers, or it spawns suppressors in the later tiers. The fabricators tend to be a mission where there will be these 2 fabricators in one room, and they spawn acarids. But they don't begin spawning these things until you enter the room. And there are these 2 heavy defense turrets protecting them. Occasionally, though, you get one of these, which is to destroy 3 fabricators. They will be scattered throughout the facility. You might find 2 in the same room, but I don't think I've ever found all 3 in the same room. There will be no heavy weapons defending them, and they will begin spawning acarids, I believe, immediately, or heavy spiders, I can't remember. So we need to find them quickly and bring them down. 3 turns until the first of the squads on the map begin waking up. There's probably 2 total squads. Alright. Well, let's get started. There's one of the fabricators. Oh, and I believe this is the first I'll call it mundane piece of terrain that we're encountering during this run. That's a cooler over here. If you are within its AoE, you lose an additional 10 heat each turn. You can destroy this, and you lose 40 heat. Lucifer, let's send you up here too. Do I risk moving... So I tend to like having my entire squad together, but we are on a... I feel a little more pressure in a mission like this, given that I know these are going to begin spawning in things soon. It's a bulwark these spawn in, not an acarid. Okay. Well, then I'm glad we sent Lucifer up here to deal with that. I don't feel that we have the firepower with these 2 to really slug it out against other groups of enemies. So they will come with. Okay. Oh, they spawn various enemies. All right, then. Okay, so... Oh, and you know, there was another enemy that we haven't talked about. The Scorpion that we see here. Scorpion Cannon. Does respectable damage, and I think it has a better range than what you just see here. Is that correct? Oh, no, only 4 range. Okay. It also applies armor breach to targets that it strikes, so that reduces their armor by 1. If they don't have armor, then they get negative armor, so it increases the damage that they take from all other sources. Plays nicely with bulwarks. There should have been another fabricator. Oh, it was right there. We could have probably destroyed this immediately had I sent these 2 down in this direction, but it's too late. And I don't see any potential spot for the other squads. Or rather, the potential spot would be over here. Okay, let's deal with these 2 fabricators. Actually, we should probably send a... Well, no. Let's deal with these fabricators. I was hoping Lucifer would have range to the fabricator from here. He will not. We'll deal with the bulwark first. And we'll kill this next turn. Okay. So that dies from heat damage automatically. We don't need to worry about it. If I move you here, Gabriel, you block the entrance to anyone else. Lucifer can't get out of the way in time. Let's have Michael move here and swing at the fabricator once. Oh, 29 damage. What's the min on the broadsword? 27. Let's see if we can destroy this with this swing. We cannot. Alright, well then that changes what I'm planning on doing. I was going to swing here to destroy this, to open up some space to deal with the Scorpion. How many more turns do you spawn? We can wait 1 more turn to destroy the fabricator. We will open this up. This allows Lucifer to move here. Put some damage on that Scorpion. And then we can kill it with Gabriel. Yeah, this is for the best anyway. We want to get over here to destroy this before it spawns another Scorpion. Okay. So... it's going to be a bit awkward to reach it. There we go. And now it's wide open, so we can move Gabriel here and destroy it. Oh, we might not destroy it this turn. Alright, now we will. As long as I don't move you straight down like this. Actually, we'll, what's your range? 4? Can move you down 1 more spot, Raphael. There is no other enemy squad appearing. Okay. An Accurate, a Bulwark, and a Scorpion will assist this Fabricator in its bulwarks in trying to stop us. Alright, let's get back. We want we want to allow the other squad members to catch up to us. Okay. We can kill this quite easily. And then have the rest of our squad move up. Okay, we're gonna have to now get a little messy. Actually, we can delay one more turn to get into a better position, I think. Oh, okay, good. Let's say that's a shame. I should have checked Lucifer's range first, but he has range. Put a little bit of heat on that. We could actually kill it, I think, this round, but it will die next round to heat, and it can't damage us this round. So I'd rather not have Gabriel gain any additional heat. Bulwark. Okay, 5 turns to get down here and destroy this, so we're beginning to run out of time. I think we'll move here with you, Gabriel. You'll activate your reactor, and we'll start mopping things up here. I see Lucifer will move down here first. Make sure this one dies to heat. Put a little bit of heat damage on that. Yeah, let's use the reactor. I want to make sure the Acrid dies. I want to damage the Scorpion so we don't have to worry about its damaging us. And that will not be any significant amount of damage to the Bulwark, only 12 through 18. So we'll hit the Scorpion again and kill it. Michael can heal himself and just move up. Raphael. Put some more damage there. And then get you in the way of that Bulwark. Since you have armor, we want you taking the hits. Lucifer can work on the Bulwark. Getting some heat on it. Michael can probably kill it, or guarantee it dies this turn. Yep, smacking it once. And then we put a hole here so we can see the Fabricator, and we'll begin working on it through the hole next turn with Michael. We could ignore this Bulwark, actually, with Raphael and just move him around. Let's do that. We'll take a swing. Then move away. And I can't reach it this turn. We can just end our turn. We can move you Raphael, move over here. Take this one and destroy this. Heal Gabriel. Do some good damage there. And let's actually use our plasma autocannon. And it's over. I think we can just take a one single slash. Nope, it's dead. We can just hit end turn. Perfect. Alright guys, thank you everyone for watching. We'll go ahead and assign this stuff, look and see what's for sale, upgrade somebody if we... Oh no, let's all do that in the next episode. We'll just stop here. So thank you all for watching. Hope it was entertaining to see this game again. I really like this game. It's been too long since I played it, and it's been, I think, just over a year since I hit the channel. So I like to make this a game I get on the channel once per year too. And thus we're playing it. One of the reasons why we are. Alright guys, so thanks again for watching, and maybe I'll see you in the next one. Take care everyone.